Okay. For your camera, when you see me, is my suit on the left side of my camera? Okay, yeah, it was inverted. I had to fix it. Cool.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Mac2Core93 here, and we are live here on Twitch. And today we are doing another episode of A Day in the Life of. And today's guest is none other than ridercga. You want to go ahead and tell them a little bit about yourself and where they can follow you at?
Yeah, so hi for everybody who is meeting me for the first time. My name is ridercga, also go by Mike. The CGA stands for the three things I hold dear to my heart, which is cosplay, gaming, and art. And it's literally just ridercga on every social media platform. TikTok, even though that's gone, YouTube, Twitch, Insta, Twitter, everything is the same. So I keep it pretty cohesive so people have an easy time finding me.
We are going to go ahead, shout out Kira, because they are in here already. I think I did. Did I spell that? Yeah, we'll go with that. Shout out Kira, last streaming makers and crafting. Gonna shout out the guest of honor. Just so you guys can go ahead and follow him. Last playing Marvel Rivals. So, as you said, Writer CGA is, the CGA stands for things in which you were passionate about, cosplay, gaming, and art. So my first question is actually going to tie into the A part of your name. How long have you been an artist, and what got you started designing your own art?
I want to say probably maybe 15 years or so. I mean, the better assumption would be just ever since like I pick up a pencil. The first time, what really got me into art was just comic books, and I think I remember my first comic book I ever got, which was it was back when Marvel was doing reprints, and you get comics in the mail, and it was like Spider-Man versus the Lizard, and then I started trying to doodle Spider-Man as a kid, and then as I grew up, they started giving me books of like, here's how to draw comics the Marvel way, and then as I grew up, I started following that more and more.
Dude, That's funny. You say the first reissue you got was Spider-Man because back when I was just a little one, a friend of mine in South Carolina, his dad had the original line of Spider-Man from the very first issue
Oh
to that
wow.
current one, and he had two copies of them, one for himself to read, and then one for his collection. And
That's
I
crazy.
I look back at that time and it's like, man, that's really what got me into like, some of my fandoms because it's like Spider-Man is always gonna hold a near and dear to my heart because uh of that. But it's like, going into it now, I'm just like, I've read comics throughout my 32 years of life, hence the fact. And and my thing is 93. uh Demo Iron Man, that's dope. Yes, so technically that's not, it's an Iron Man suit, but it's not an Iron Man suit. uh we will get into that here in a little bit. The first time
Yeah.
I was in a Discord chat with Mike, I was like, is that a War Machine suit in the, and he just like that face right there
It
and
was.
just
I'm not mad when people call it a War Machine suit. I call it an Iron Man suit just because it's easier to say, but it looks like a War Machine variant, and I'm beyond fighting it at this point. It's whatever people want to call it. I call it an Iron Man suit, but technically a War Machine suit is also an Iron Man suit, so nobody's wrong.
yeah. Well, the original concept is of the War Machine is an Iron Man suit,
Yeah,
but War Machine after that fact, Tony starts
became its
designing.
own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Demo, what's going on, big dog? Drink do get good, aka Coder. How we doing, guys? If you're just tuning in, this is writer, uh, CGA, cosplayer, Twitch streamer, video game, and he's an artist. Travis, what's going on, man? Welcome into the stream. Which, shout him out, future guest, right there. That's going to be on the pod. That's all I'm gonna say. Last Planet Suicide. That I want to play that game. But the first question I had asked Mike was, how long has he been an artist? What got him in? To give a little recap, he said he's been drawing. He's been an artist since he could pick up a pen. What got him into it was when Marvel was doing Mail of the.
They were doing reissues of like back when you could still get comics through mail, like in the early 2000s. They would do like you can get like little reissues that aren't like the official like first issues, but they're just like, hey, for people who maybe are getting into comics.
Yeah. Now I do kind of want to throw something. Whereas in previous streams, I've said, "Hey, we wait till right towards the end to ask questions." But if you guys that are in the chat have any questions, I will throw your questions in as I'm going through my questions for him, just so that way it can be a little bit more of a live audience type of feel since it is live. So the next question I got for you, what got you started doing video game streams, and has your thought process changed on what games you play, or do you just, play whatever's, hot, the new commodity?
Um, I can't. I think it was just the fact that it was mostly when I would invite friends over, and we would just all sit in like a group, and I would be playing a game, and it was basically like the same as like a walkthrough where they wouldn't play, but I would just be commentating over it, and we'd be bantering back and forth. And then I would start off just like recording like with an iPhone on like a stack of PS3 cases, recording my TV.
Jeez.
God, I've been making gaming content for like 10 years now.
Oof.
In terms of like my thought process, I don't really play what's hot, like unless it interests me. Like Marvel Rivals, I was interested in from the jump. But if I want to play a game on stream, I'm gonna just play it. Whoever wants to see it can see it. I don't. I noticed that a lot of people when they play the games that are popular, for the sake of because they're popular. They don't enjoy themselves as much as if you just play something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
And it shows.
Like, what was it? I remember there was Outriders.
Yeah.
I got that game because I was interested in it, and I was like, this is going to be good. I think I maybe played... I haven't even beaten it, and I since sold that game. But, like, that was one of those games I'm like, this is going to be a good game to play on stream. But it's like, it was very crowded. Like, that. I think that those first, like, 4 or 5 days, there was, like, 30,000 viewers for that thing. And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm seeing people with, like, 100 and something, and I'm over here, like, with 7. And I'm like, dang. But, I mean, I'm not really big time. My friend Cody said, want to make my suit laughing emoji.
Yeah, for a minimum of like 15,000. That's how.
Well, see, the funny thing, he says that as he's got 2 printers of his own, and he made a full Mandalorian suit.
You asked me to make your suit, and I got just one. I only printed.
he asked that a little bit ago, but no, like, man, I didn't know about Marvel Rivals until you said something about it. Yeah. And I'm still yet to play it, but I'm like, I really want to go in and play it, but I haven't really. I've been like hyper focused on Hogwarts Legacy. I'm not even about to lie. Yeah. I've put like 40 hours into that game, like since the 26th of December.
Yeah.
Like, which don't give my secrets out, man. You don't start with me. Like, he's like. The first thing when I started, because a friend of ours introduced us, it's a mutual that I've known since I was like 6, and he was like, yeah, you should add my friend Cody because he 3D prints stuff and he made his own Mandalorian suit, and I'm like, and I saw pictures of it, I'm like, that shit's kind of dope. Mm-hmm. Like, he's like, oh, I don't like it because of this and this, but it's like, dude, like, it's for what he didn't really paint it or anything, but like the quality in it, I think he printed it on like his 2 Ender 3s that are like modded out to fucking hell and back. And his
you have to do when you have Ender 3s.
Well, he doesn't have like the OG Ender 3. He's got like the Ender 3 Pro, I think.
That's what I had. It's literally sitting on the floor.
See, you're better than me. I saw that thing the first chance. Is it
I
painted?
Wish this
my
on
bad.
Anybody but my worst enemy. I swear to God.
Now, mind you, I got my Ender 3 when Frank was still throwing that in like his yearly, like, oh, if you want a good beginner printer for under, and someone basically didn't gift it to me, but was like, hey, here's this. I know you want to get a printer. Throw this, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Ender 3 Max Neos. That's what he's got.
Okay, yeah. See, that's better than the Ender 3 Pro.
Yeah. The only Ender that I would throw out there would be the Ender 3, but the newer ones with like the
with the actual, parts that are helpful.
Yeah. Like, if you want to like, what up, Kira? How is this your first time talking when you've been in this stream like 4 times? 2 of them were your own streams. Like, what the hell? But yeah, no. So I guess what got you into 3D printing and what year did you start?
I started, I'm going to say 2021. I'd have to look at because I know I made a video when I got my Ender 3.
The only person that comes into a stream where it's a podcast and throws sound alerts in. Fucking Kira.
I started in 2021, and what got me into it was I think it was seeing Frank's videos. After I had finished my first cosplay build, which was out of foam, which was my Commander Shepard build. And then I was like, that sounds like fun. And then I found out that 3D printer was only $100. I'm like, okay, well, drove an hour to the nearest Micro Center, picked one up, and started messing around with it. And then instead of doing the smart thing, which is, hey, let's print small things and learn the process.
No.
No, I said I'm going to print one thing and it works, and then I'm going to then jump into trying to make that with an Ender 3, and it's possible. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's possible. But I think it was Frank. It was Frank and all of the other Iron Man cosplayers that really started putting out like 3D printing content.
Yeah.
And then as I grew on, I started finding other people like Kira, like Emily, like Kiara, and I started.
Now what's Kira?
The Kira we know.
No, I know. Because there's Kira Creates and then Kira's Workshop. I always like
That's
the
Kiara.
Oh,
Kiara.
My bad.
Yeah, I've had a foil and slip when I first was watching their content. I would flip names around. I actually accidentally did that when I was talking about Kira in my suit video. I had to ADR my own words because I kept saying the wrong name.
Because it's like I see K and I instantly think of our Kira.
Yeah,
and it's like, but no, freaking. The Ender 3s, I got 2 good prints off of that thing, and then I come to find out that the person where I bought it off of sold refurbished machines, and then to top that off, the firmware wasn't fully updated, and the bed was warped.
Oh no.
Yeah. So then I got one of Frank's old printers, and that glass bed, I got rid of that thing the first chance I got because like I couldn't get the glass bed. I even tried the spray paint on it, and don't remind me of that Ender. Yo, what's going on, Flip? And then my friend freaking Cody went from having the Ender 3 Max Neos to now he's got a Bamboo A1 with a AMS light and a freaking K1 Max.
Nice.
Yeah. What's going on, Flip? The amount of trouble. Yeah, dude. Oh, Kira had to help me with my Ender. This is how I found out that the person that I bought it from sold refurbished machines because Kira was like, "Oh yeah, you got it off of him? Yeah, you know that's a refurbished machine." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
I got mine brand new, and it might as well have been as good as a refurbished.
We were in a Discord chat for 2.5 hours to try and figure out why this was doing it, what I was doing wrong, and then Kira's like, "What the fuck is going on with this?" And after that point,
Under 3 experience.
Yeah, and then after that, I was just like, "Fuck this," and then I got the CR10S4 from Frank, the one with the yellow on it. And man, that I got 2 good. I got 4, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna start printing big stuff now.
Yep.
Adhesive issues, and then I've got my Neptunes now, and I love my Neptunes. My 3 Maxes. Well, yeah. 2 3 Maxes and a 4 Max.
I only had 2 printers my whole life, and that was the Ender 3. That is just, I sort of got. I'm gonna find a way to destroy that thing because that thing is good for scrap metal and nothing more.
You should do a video of
I'm not kidding. It's literally just on the floor. I have all the pieces to fix it, and I don't want to fix it. It's so unreliable as a printer. I don't want to ever touch it.
Yeah.
But then I got a new printer gifted to me by my grandmother. Christmas of 2023 or 2022, I think it was.
Yeah.
And that was the Anycubic Cobra Max.
Ooh.
And that thing has never. I've only ever had one issue with it, and I've been printing with that thing since 2022 to now. Like I just finished it yesterday. And that was a heat bed issue, and the heat bed like completely broke.
Oh.
And they sent me a replacement, and it took like 15 minutes to just flip it over, unscrew the bed, replace the entire sensor, put it in, screw it in. Has worked. I've never had even adhesion issues on it either.
Jeez.
That's the craziest part.
Bro.
So I'm hoping to get another printer if I can find a way to renovate my my new area that I'm living in to have more than one printer.
Where you're at would make a good area, just take out the couch. You'll be fine.
See, I would, but this is my streaming area. But I have like a whole nother room.
Yeah.
I can just put it in.
I mean, this is my streaming area, and besides, just randomly me putting in my bed because I didn't want to be in my bedroom. I was just like, I'm just gonna put the spare bed in here.
Yeah.
Because I took the printer rack out when I returned it, and it's just like...
Yeah, because the plan is I'm going to have like more things on display, more parts and props that I've finished printing and made and cosplays displayed. Like once I finish my upcoming armors, I'll probably put those as like a little one here, one here.
He says armors. Like,
yeah,
the amount of headaches that he said he went through with just Dawnbreaker.
The reason I had that many headaches with this suit is because I was trying to put on the Ender 3 and I did not know what the hell I was doing at all. Look, YouTube University is great.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if you don't know what the hell you're doing, and I didn't, because it took me 9 hours just for the helmet. And that's actually the second version. The first version I printed and it fit perfectly. The problem was it fit perfectly and I didn't have room for motorization. And then I printed that one, I repainted it. It took me 9 hours to try to get this thing to work properly with the motorization, and I had everything installed properly.
Jeez.
I had to wait and get lucky that Kira made a helmet tutorial. Otherwise, that helmet wouldn't have been motorized at New York. I'm not even kidding. And I had like 9 people in a Discord call who don't know anything about 3D printing. They were just there for moral support, except for my partner. And everybody there is just watching me struggle with this thing for 9 hours. And then I watch Kira's video that comes out, and then I get it done in 20 minutes. I've never felt dumber in my life, but I was just thankful that it was done. I was thankful it was done.
Because there we go. I think we're back.
All right.
Are we back now? Yeah. All right, cool. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know if it was internet or what, but I was dropping frame rates. So sorry about that. I don't know where we left off, but we were talking about the helmet, him redoing it in 20 minutes. Kira's 4 helmets, basically, for 2 suits, and Mike needing his handheld throughout the... So, yeah, that's kind of where we were just at. So, I mean, you kind of answered this, but what was your first printer, and what was the first official thing you printed?
So yeah, my first printer was the Ender 3, unfortunately, but it served its purpose. The first thing I ever actually printed to completion was I don't have it anymore because it broke in New York. It broke. I just didn't feel like carrying it, so it like broke, and I could have fixed it, but I just kind of threw it away. It was my Shinjin SMG for my Cyberpunk cosplay.
Okay.
If you guys don't know what that is, you can check my Instagram. I have photos with it, but it was one of my favorite weapons in that game. So I 3D printed that. Yeah, that was the first thing I printed. And then after that, I started printing more parts for that cosplay, including like renovating my entire jacket for that costume. And then I printed the Mantis Blade, which also broke, but I can fix that now. So.
I'm listening. I'm going to your
you're
IG.
Yeah, that was the first official thing I printed before I ended up trying to go for the Iron Man suit, which was a terrible idea on the Ender 3 because that's when all the issues started.
Well, I mean, that thing's got like a 250 build volume.
It wasn't the build volume. It was the fact that it just didn't work. Like, it just wouldn't work.
Is that no? Because that looks like foam. Is it the big burly?
Um, I'm not sure what you're seeing. It should be me. Like the cosplay is me in a jacket. It's like a brown leather jacket. It should be one of the guns for that one.
Okay. The only one I see is you of the blade. So here's what he was. One of the things he was talking about. If you gotta burn it all down, then let it burn.
Yep, that was
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that was as you guys can see there's the katana and then the gun from him. That's Brock
yeah,
Lesnar.
yeah. The katana was just something I owned, but the gun itself, that was the Malorian pistol.
Yeah. See, I played a little bit of that game when it first came out. I didn't play much of it.
Yeah.
I got it.
And those pictures are actually before I ended up renovating the costume by 3D printing the jammer that goes on his back with the leather. I like tore that jacket apart, because I was like, okay, it's cool, it's cloth, and it gets the look across, but I want that accuracy, so I like 3D printed like the actual little rivets that go in there, and I put it into the fabric of the leather.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna get into the elephant in your room. It was your war machine.
Yeah.
Uh, so what suit is your Iron Man Dawnbreaker based on? Notice I said Iron Man Dawnbreaker.
Yeah, so I call it, I codenamed it Dawnbreaker just because that's my favorite weapon in Skyrim, and it's just a good name. It's based off of 3 suits. So it's my 3 favorite suits in the MCU that were in Iron Man, and it's the War Machine Mark 1, Heartbreaker, which was in Iron Man 3, and the suitcase, the colors are like inspired by the suitcase suit in Iron Man 2, which was the Mark 5.
Yeah.
Those are the 3, and I kind of like put them together when I drew this. It was back when Endgame came out, and there was like a trend with artists where everybody was coming up with their own Iron Sonas, where it's like, what would you make if you had an Iron Man suit? What would your Iron Man suit be? So I drew it back in 2020, I think it was, when my dad got me an iPad, and I put those 3 together. And I've just been sitting on that drawing for years until recently, where I was like, it'd be really cool, instead of cosplaying a suit that exists, what if I just had one of one? Because it helps to stand out a little bit.
Which, for those of you that are on the stream, this is the original drawing that he is talking about. Yes. I mean, if I wouldn't have known that he drew that his suit came from a drawing, I wouldn't have believed you. But like, the drawing is sick. Like, and then this is the him modeling it, or it was already modeled, just him forming it to his body. But like, there's what the suit in the back.
The model itself was just like an early prototype. That was way back when I was first like thinking of doing it, and then as time went on, I started swapping pieces out. So I took like the pre-existing pieces of those 3 suits, and I kind of put them side. I started like messing around with it, like, okay, this would look better, or these ab plates look better, until I eventually settled on the look that looked closest to the artwork that also would work the best.
Yeah. And then my friend Cody says 1 of 1 is dope as fuck.
Thank you. Yeah, I love everybody who has their Mark 85s and they do the Mark 7s and all that, like the suits that exist. But it's like, if I'm gonna do it, I would love to do a suit that exists. I have an idea of maybe one I would do, but I figured if I'm going to wear an Iron Man suit, I want to stand out. So in a crowd of Iron Man suits, you're gonna know that's me. Like, you're gonna know that's mine.
And the first question that he's probably always gonna give me, like, I like your War Machine.
You know what's surprising? That actually is the thing I got the least.
Really?
In New York. People called it an Iron Man suit, which I didn't care if you call it an Iron Man suit or a War Machine suit. I was being snippy at first. I don't care for real. But the thing I got the most, which confuses me to this day, is everybody's like, is that Iron Deadpool?
What?
That's I'm trying to figure it out because there's no black on the suit except the shoulder pads and my arms, and it's red and chrome. So I don't. There's an actual Iron Deadpool suit too, which looks nothing like that.
Yeah, no.
Red and black, and that's what I got the most, and that is the only time where I died on the inside. I didn't tell anybody because I had my faceplate down.
But
every time I heard it, I'm just like.
In his head, all he was hearing was "Hello, darkness, my old friend."
I was just like, "Can I please leave this room? I want to leave this room."
That's crazy. Like, I would have been like, what? Like, me being me like, and sometimes having no filter, my mind would have been saying, what? And then it's like, where do you get... Yeah, Cody is very much one of those, like, his Mando suits, he doesn't want to do one that is very commonly well done. So he's going to do something that's going to be different from everyone else.
I love Mando suits, like Mando cosplayers, because, like, yeah, everybody does the Mandalorian, they do Din, but I love because it's much more flexible with making it your own because there's no real set standard of, like, hey, Mandos have to look like this. It's the helmet, it's that helmet, and the armor, but you can paint it with, like, your battle paint, and I love seeing those, especially when people do mashups, too. I have a friend who did a Mandalorian, and that thing is gorgeous. I mean, he even had like a custom coat to go with it. And
dude, that's sick.
Beautiful. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, Cody is in a. I'm not going to disclose where he's located, but from up home, I'm gonna just kind of say that it kind of narrows it down, but not much. He's in he's in a Mando group.
Yeah.
Because, like, and then, like, they sell off, it's like, oh, hey, I printed this, it was too small. This is the diameter. And, like, they, like, sell it off to, like, each other. And it's like, dude, that's just kind of cool. And he's very big on, there was this drawing that he saw on Etsy, I think. And he started finding pieces to where it's like, this is as close... I mean, yeah, Ohio. You just kind of ruined it. I didn't want to flat out say, hey, Cody's from Ohio, y'all. But yeah, no. And he started getting, before he got rid of his Comgrow T500, that thing was a headache for him. It was like the Ender 3 for us. Except for his didn't have a printer profile, so he had to create his own, and he went through like 9 rolls of filament just to print one thing.
Oh god.
Yeah. But yeah, like the Mando the second Mando suit that he has printed or is printing is very nice. It gets the chef's kiss. Like, the concept is cool as hell, and it was beautifully drawn.
Yeah, those I like Mandos and Spartans because they're so flexible with how you can customize them to where it can be just you.
Exactly.
And I love seeing that.
And the mashup of the Mandos that I love the most, I'm not even about to lie, is the Power Ranger one.
The Power Ranger ones are really good. What was the last one I seen? I saw, like, the Mandalorian was that my buddy does is really good. He also did for him and his partner, he did Demon Slayer. I've never seen it. I've never seen Demon Slayer because I'm not, like, super big into anime. Like, I'm trying, but I'm bad at watching shows. But he, like, I could see, like, just from a look at it, I could tell that's that character and that's that character just because he captured it so well with the paint. Because he did, like, cell shading on the edges of the actual mask, so it looks like an anime.
Okay.
It looks so good.
What character?
Oh god. What's his name?
The main Tanjiro?
Tanjiro, yeah, Tanjiro,
Okay.
and I think Nezuko. I think those are two. I could be wrong, but I
Yeah.
think it was Tanjiro and Nezuko as Mandos, and it was so good.
The brother and sister duo.
Mm-hmm.
Cody, you did not send me the picture of your rocket launcher. Is it big?
I mean, we all love big props. I've
Right?
got one in the process back
Listen,
here.
but do you have a Yoru sword?
No, but I got something that's close to the size of it, which is the Blade of Olympus from God of War.
Dear God.
It's 5'7".
That thing is huge. I don't know if you can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty big.
Yeah.
that's pretty big.
Cody does like his big props, I will say. Now, mind you, the here's a little fun fact: the minigun or the whatever the gun is on his Dawnbreaker is not 3D printed. He cheated.
No, it's not cheating because I actually 3D printed the Gatling gun, and it was way too heavy. I would not trust 3D printed plastic, at least not with the knowledge I had at the time.
Yeah.
With the armature the way it is. So what I did is I was like scrambling to find ideas of like, okay, I need to have this. The suit doesn't look complete without it. So I went to Walmart. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll find like a Nerf gun. And I found an off-brand called X-Force or X-Shot, I think it's called.
But they're just as good.
It was literally, it looked exactly to the T, the same exact model that I used with the Gatling gun for War Machine that came with my suit. And it was much lighter. I took all the motors out, which I kind of regret because I wish I could have kept those to keep the barrel spinning. I stripped it apart.
Oh.
Sanded, or well, I didn't really sand it, but I like primed it, painted it, and it used to be fluorescent orange and blue and like paint chips, so you can kind of see it if you're like this close to it. But it was fluorescent orange and blue when it started, and now it's just gunmetal black with chrome and red.
Cool.
So, and it's moderately like light. It's light. It bounces, but it's not going to go anywhere with the armature I have rigged up to it.
You do know how to solder. You know, you could go back and put some of the stuff back in.
Yeah. The thing is that I could. It's just I would have to like unscrew it. That's actually screwed into the armature. The armature itself is not screwed into my suit. It's just a PVC pipe.
Yeah.
I could take that off if I wanted to. It's just to get in there might be tricky with the armature still attached because I don't want to risk messing it up. So I'm going to leave it for now. But what I might do is in the future, once I like do like multiple costumes and I'm like happy, I might go back and buy another one, repaint it, and see if I can put the motors in myself and then put that on that suit unless I like remake that suit better than before.
Everybody always goes back and redoes their first suit at some point. But what is going on? 50 Shades 26. Demo still here rocking with us. We got Cody, of course. Kira's in here. We got Ryder in here. And then we got Travis. How we all doing, guys? Yeah, weight sucks with 3D printing. I'm going to start playing with Aereo, PLA, half the weight and still strong. Yeah,
experiment.
Yeah. I realized, we haven't really talked about your gaming. So, what kind of games does Ryder like to play on stream besides Marvel Rivals?
I play a little of everything. Like right now, outside of Marvel Rivals, we're kind of in the middle of a God of War like series replay. We just beat 2. We did God of War Ascension, God of War 1. We watched the story of the PSP games. We did 2. We played. We're gonna do 3 and then do like the PS4, PS5 version.
Yeah.
I've played. There's not really like a specific genre I stick to. Whatever is interesting to me, I'll just play it. Like I play Rocket League a lot.
Oh, not Rocket League.
I used to be really good at that game, and then I played other things and bad at it. Whatever really piques my personal interest, because I try to curate my streams when I play games in a way where um, I know that people aren't there to see the game. Like some people be there in the game, but if you're a streamer, you should they should be there for you as a person. Otherwise, if you're just sitting there playing a game, they could go out and buy the game themselves and
Yeah.
play it and save as much time. But I play whatever really particularly strikes me. Like I'll go retro, I'll
DJ
play
Hero.
something I've beaten. I'll play I play a lot of fighters too. I play a lot of fighting games on stream too. But right now we're just kind of doing the single player like replay of God of War.
Yeah.
Like I've always wanted to.
Now, I'm kind of I need to do a lot better. Like when I was getting into streaming a lot, I've kind of reverted back to that kind of state of just me sitting there just playing. But like if I'm playing like WWE 2K, like my universe mode, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, like I get into that shit. Like I've been playing wrestling games since.
It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch matches. I help a friend of mine run his universe mode. It's great as a commentator. Like somehow even I got involved in matches. It was awesome.
All right, I'm about to age myself when I say this. I've been playing the wrestling games since SmackDown. Know Your Role.
I had Shut Your Mouth. I started with Shut Your Mouth, and then I started. And then what was the second wrestling game I played? I had my first console when I was a kid, and I'm only 24, but my first console was a Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
And I got WWF Attitude.
Ooh.
But I never got to play No Mercy. Never got to.
WCW Nitro was my first Nintendo 64 game that I played.
Yeah, I played Attitude, WrestleMania 2000, and then I stopped for a while because we couldn't afford to get any more games. I got a PS2, then I had Shut Your Mouth. Then I got the first one I got was SVR 2007, I think it was. It was either 6 or 7, which had Batista and John on the cover. And then I didn't play any wrestling games. I played that game until it broke. Like I didn't buy them yearly. And then I jumped to 2000. I jumped to 2011 on the PSP. Didn't have any on the PS3. I missed all of SmackDown vs. Raw on the PS3.
Dude.
And then I stopped playing wrestling games altogether until 2K16, and then that's when I've been playing them since.
Yeah. Shoot, my first what got me streaming was WWE 2K18.
That was a fun one.
Because I was just like, I don't know what I would stream. I don't know what would be good. So, like, I kind of stole a concept from a buddy of mine. I was just like, okay, well, I like wrestling. He likes wrestling. I've got a character. He's got a character. So why not just do a universe mode? And yeah. I've tried to do and get better at staying on track with technically right now the stream that we've been doing. I'm still in May. Because, you know, personal life happens. But my goal is to try and, before I get 25, is to complete a full year in this current universe mode.
Yeah, that's I have to get back onto my my ongoing series that I upload to YouTube, but it's not really a universe mode. It's like I'm telling my own. I am the only person to have done this. Because like most YouTubers who do 2K content, I'm friends with some of them, they'll just reboot every year. Every year they'll reboot. They'll just be like, okay, look, new game, we're starting from scratch. I interwove each and every single story from 19 to 24, except for 20. I skipped that, but I've interwoven every story into one long narrative.
Yeah.
So every my career is just one long narrative, and I need to get back to uploading that. But I'm just gonna get back to that once I have. So
like technically, right now I've got my character and a really great friend of mine. Now we're such, and I'm gonna say the word marks, that like when we were coming up with like a concept of like we were always saying that we would be a tag team. So like in every 2K game since we decided this, and like I want to say it was like 2019, I've always had him as like my tag team partner. I create him every single year right after I create my character. So it's like
Yeah.
I've always kept us a tag team, and this year I've decided not to put him in a tag team. So like they're kind of solo, but like he hasn't shown up yet.
Yeah.
But I've got plans for him.
Okay.
So it's like I right now I think I'm feuding. I'm about to start because I showed you one of my match cards. I'm about to start a feud with somebody. I mean, you got to see but I'm not throwing it out yet because I'm gonna start back up the 2K streams this week for sure. But yeah, no. So I think once I get everything situated with that, that's gonna come back. And before I even buy WWE 2K to start streaming it, I'm going to finish a full year, finish off rivalries, and then 2K25 we're gonna bring it back, but it's gonna be bigger. And yeah. But no, freaking so we're at that point now, guys. We're about 47 minutes into it. We steered a little off topic, but hey, it's cool. Do you guys have any questions that you want to ask Mike? Whether that be cosplay, 3D printing, games, or his art. I mean, we didn't really touch much on the art part. It's mainly been like Ender 3 rants and
yeah.
But do you guys have any questions for him? Throughout those any of those topics, it doesn't just have to be that. It could be conventions that he's going to.
Yeah. Because I have a few of those. I have to finish setting up plans to go to.
Are you doing Katsu?
I'm not. I want my goal is to try to travel more to cons, but finances aren't financing at the moment. But my plans are C2 is a guarantee. C2 is a guarantee. That's the next one I have planned. Fan Expo, maybe in
Which
Chicago.
one? Okay.
Fan Expo Chicago.
I was gonna say there's like 20 fan expos.
C2 is a definite, and then New York, I will move everything I can to get there with my group. So fingers crossed for New York, but guaranteed is C2E2. Fan Expo is a maybe because that's really where I just go to say hi to friends because I won't see them for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
And then I guess you can interject Combo Breaker, which is like a fighting game tournament, but they have cosplay there, so I might go there.
That's kind of sick.
Yeah, we went. Me and my partner, we went. Me and the Aloy cosplayer, we went together and we cosplayed. I cosplayed Scorpion.
Nice.
Like a bloody battle damage Scorpion, and then she threw together Shaolin Monk Sonya Blade. And we just went there, and we got so lucky because it was the first year that Mortal Kombat 1 was on the tournament circuit.
Okay.
We loved that game. And we met Ed Boon and Tyler Lansdowne. So Ed Boon is the creator of Mortal Kombat, and it was so funny because we're watching the tournament, we're like, we're not going to see him. Like, there's chances, the likelihood is high, but like with how big it is, we're all like watching the fights. It's somebody I met earlier, and this is how cool the fighting game community is. A dude I met earlier, we were just like bantering about like, watching the fights. He found me because I was wearing a bright yellow tabard covered in blood. And he said, I don't mean to interrupt y'all conversation, but Ed Boon is over there. All of us ran. Yeah. All of us ran to go meet him while the fights are going on. So it was me, Aloy cosplayer, Infinity FGC, who was cosplaying a Melina, an amazing Melina. And I think it was, I can't remember, was there a reptile? There was a reptile we met earlier that day, but I don't know if he was with us that time.
Yeah.
But, we all are like trying to take pictures with Ed, and he's like, "Can I take a picture with you guys?" So like, on Ed Boon's phone, the creator of Mortal Kombat, he took a picture of us three on his phone, and then we all took a picture with him. And
dude, that's sick.
He signed my Scorpion mask, so that's retired.
Yeah, of course. Because
he signed my Scorpion mask, and he took a picture with us.
Dude, hell yeah.
So
Which
this year, I'm fingers crossed. If I have time and resources, I want to make my next Iron Man suit, which is from Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That's going to be the suit I'm shooting
ooh,
for.
okay, that's good, man. I haven't. I tried to play Marvel vs. Capcom 3 when we were in when I was in Texas 2 years ago visiting. A friend of
So
mine,
difficult.
a friend of ours, me and my partner, with his partner, took us to this place called Barcade.
I think, I'm aware of it.
It's in Well, it's probably out there too, but it's in
Yeah.
Texas, and basically it's $10 and it's all day. Now
We
you
have
would
something like that. on
you
here,
would
too.
think with how many arcade games and how long you would play for, they would be more. But where they make their money is on their alcohol, because
Yep.
they have in their little art in their barcade, they have their own brewery that they make their own beer,
Yep. That's
and
how they do it.
they've got it there, and I'm like, dude, that is sick. So for $10, I can come in here and play all day long on all these different classic arcade games, and then they've got their alcohol, their food, and all that. I'm like, dude,
Yep.
that's cool as hell. Like that's the dream right there, would be to have something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the last place we went to that was like that. It's not really a barcade, but it was better. It is, I think, the world's largest arcade. It's in Chicago. It's called Galloping Ghosts.
Yeah.
$25 all day play. You could leave and come back as long as you got your receipt. They
Oh,
make their money off of and their snacks are really affordably priced. You just got candy bars and like Red Bulls and drink, like the basics.
Ooh.
But it is like every arcade game known to man, even Japanese imported ones. Like
Oh,
the
that's
arcade
sick.
cabinet for Left 4 Dead 2, and that was
Ooh.
that place is awesome. Like
Yeah.
every time I go to C2E2 and like my friends want to go do something, we're like, yo, we can go hit up this arcade, and it goes until like 1 a.m. Unless you're like me, who went one day and then forgot. I was like, oh snap, I forgot WWE was in town, and apparently the New Day goes to that arcade every time they're in Chicago.
Oh, dude.
So like I hung out with Woods and Kofi till like 4:45 in the morning because I brought them artwork. Because I was like,
Yeah.
I have art just in case I meet celebrities. I'm like, here you go.
Yeah.
This is for you. And then I was going to leave because I'm like, all right, you guys want this to yourselves. You worked. I'm
Yeah.
gonna leave. And they're like, you can stay. Everyone else in the arcade left. Everyone
Yeah.
just left because they had the same thought process. But I was the only one that was like, got the go ahead to say, yeah, you can stay with us, because I was trying to give them their space. They're like, no, you can stay with us. Yeah, that wrestler and fan shit went out the window because we became 3 friends that just
Yeah.
shit talk each other to a degree.
I mean, dude, I know that feeling. Like, with the conventions and stuff. If you're a regular here on the channel, but like I do a lot of the Power Ranger conventions. So like I've met everyone from MMPR up until like the current season. Yeah. And one of my best friends, like I will say like best friends, is from a later season. It's Mike Jin, played the Gold RPM Ranger.
Oh, nice.
And man, when I tell you the first time I got to work with him was in 2017. I've worked with him, let's see, Lexington, Power Morphicon, More Phenomenal Expo, Ranger Stop Orlando, and like one other convention, and we talked like throughout the year, and
those are always like the best kinds of interactions.
We bonded over Dragon Ball Z. Me and my Ranger knowledge, because I'm like, if I'm gonna be working with Rangers and somebody asks a question, it's like, oh, that's from da 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 da.
Yeah.
And then, this was right around the time I was starting to get sober. We went out drinking, and he was like, hey, we're going up to this room. I'm not going to disclose who. And just the best time. Like,
and those room parties are awesome.
Yeah. And one of one of the guys was like, "Hey, I'm getting something from the bar. What do you want?" He's like, "Do you want a beer? Do you want a beer, a shot? You know, whatever." I was like, "Let me get a shot of Goldschlager." And he's like, "Oof." And now, mind you, he's a Kiwi, so like they can drink.
Yeah,
And he put that on there. He's just like, "Are you good, man?"
Is there something going on?
Yeah, like the fact that he knew what it was, and he's like, "You good over there?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I love interactions like that. Like a lot of wrestlers I'm actually friends with. It ranges from like acquaintances to friends.
Yeah.
Like Rhea Ripley, I've done 2 commissions for.
Oh.
R-Truth, I did a commission for. Kofi has my art in his. Kofi Kingston, he has my art in his gym because he said if you do that for me, I'll put it in my gym. And then Woods too, I did something for him, and those 2 were the ones that I hung out with, and we just played games all day.
Yeah.
I've known like a lot of indie wrestlers too.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's really cool to like meet people, and then like you get the stars in your eyes. You're like, I'm hanging out this way, and then after a while they just become like really cool people.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't really care about your job. You're just a cool guy.
You're just a person.
Yeah,
you know,
and they love that. They love that. They love when you talk. Like they'll talk to you about it. Obviously, they expect it.
Yeah.
But it's and that's not for wrestlers. That's just for celebrities in general. If they like meet you somewhere, and you're just like, say you like know something really niche about them, like they have a similar interest to you. They love it humanizes them. It doesn't put them on a pedestal, and they love that shit.
Like my favorite one. So, a lot of the Kiwi actors now, mind you, like they've got their shows, and then you know when they come over, they're known only for Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I got to work with 2 people that were villains in the last 2 seasons. I had knew the one guy because like I was like, dude, I watched the first thing I saw you in was the Almighty Johnsons, and he's like, you know about that? I'm like, dude, I've watched that thing like 12 times just because. Yeah. And he's like, dude, like, and I saw you when I saw you come in Power Rangers. My first reaction, I was like, is that Hod? And I looked it up. I was like, it is. So like we just talked about that weekend was that, and it's just like, dude. And he was like, do you want to autograph or anything? I was like, no, man. You know, just being here with you, that's cool enough. You know, he's like, no, dude, go ahead. And so he was like, do you want a Power Ranger one? I was like, come on now. He had the one Almighty Johnson, and I'm like, this like it's cool to be able to sit there and just BS and talk about something that they don't get to talk about a lot because it's like not a lot of people, and I can't tell you how many Power Ranger actors are on that show.
Yeah,
like
I had an interaction like that with who was it? It was Rhea Ripley. They did this was back during quarantine.
Oh god!
And this was back when they could only do virtual meet and greets, and I was lucky enough to get one for Rhea.
Yeah.
And so, what I would do in these virtual meet and greets, I would talk to them for a little bit, like conversate, and I would like talk about something that was interesting to them, and I'd be like, "Look, I'm an artist. If I could turn you into any character, doesn't matter what it is, I will do it." And we were talking about Dragon Ball. She said Vegeta, and I was just like,
"Bro,
I got you." I did it, and then I got a DM about it. It was awesome. I'm hoping one day I can meet her in person because we've talked about it before, and I hope to meet her in person one day because I know she's coming to Indy for the Rumble, but she's not doing autographs, so I might find a way to like put it on poster for a photo. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
And then Finn, I've been trying to meet him for years, and I met him in a virtual meet and greet, and I did an art piece. Which was like an homage to the Venom cover, where it was like half of his face is revealed, but then it's like the '90s McFarlane era.
Yeah,
it's got like all the goo going like all over the place, and then the other half is Venom's face.
Yeah,
I did that, but where it was like this half was Finn's face and the other half was the demon.
Oh,
so
dude.
I showed him that, and I'm like, I drew this like back in 2019 when you won the title, and he was like, "Yeah, I've had that on my phone."
Yeah,
because he has a folder of fan art, and he's like, "Yeah, I had that on my phone. That's you," because I saw it on Twitter, And then I was like, that's really cool that you had. I'm like, you had it on your phone for how many years?
Dude, that's
4.
Yeah, because like that's
awesome.
I've been following Finn since he was in New Japan, performing under the title of Prince Devitt, and I'd stopped watching wrestling. But then, like when I heard that he had signed with WWE, I'm like, dude, that got me back into watching NXT like regularly. Like it was every. And then he won the title, and I was watching. Well, he got drafted, and I was watching every week leading up into that pay-per-view. And then he got injured, and I'm like, well, there's no point for me to watch wrestling right now because I was literally tuning in just to see if he's going to have a segment, if he was going to do something. And, like, just even watching that, and you saying that you did the Venom, like, that's an homage because the concept of the Demon, when he was on the indies, was he wasn't doing, like, demon paint styles. It was like comic books, like Joker, Carnage, Venom. Like, just some of the paints that he would do, I'm like, dude, that's so sick.
Because when he went to Japan, it wasn't really a demon. It was more so a Japanese Oni.
Yeah.
He paint his whole body. And it's very funny, too, because a lot of people somehow don't know this, but when he does a demon, it's because he has a lot of anxiety, like in the ring, which is hilarious because he has the confidence that I could only aspire to have. But he apparently has a lot of anxiety. But when he's in the demon, that's like him at his most comfortable state. So when he's in the demon, he says he feels like a whole nother person.
Yeah,
he feels like he's liberated from having all the eyes on him as a person. Where
exactly.
He can be himself, which explains him behaving the way he does.
Yeah.
So it's really cool when like you meet these people and they have like humanizing stories. And that's not even for celebrities. That's like YouTubers too.
Yeah. Oh, severe anxiety.
Yeah, like
Rhea Ripley, biggest anxiety.
Yeah, because I met I have really bad imposter syndrome. So when I met like Frank, everybody in my suit, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, oh my god, this is happening.
Yeah.
It's just like after like 5 minutes, Frank remembered me because 2 years prior we kept bumping into each other at a con while he was in his suit. And I'm talking about I got my picture and I would leave, and somehow 45 minutes later we would bump into each other in the same spot 9 times. And then eventually on Sunday he made a joke where he's like, "Are you following me?" I'm like, "I swear to God, I'm not." And then that even happened with Kira, is I had imposter syndrome, and I know Kira's gonna give me crap over it, but it was because he was like, I'm like this small, I'm small. What are you talking about imposter syndrome? I'm like, look, I looked up to you guys' content to help me make my dream project, and then after like 45 minutes, that imposter syndrome shit went out the window. Because we're just like getting food. We're like, we don't care anymore.
Yeah. No, like
so it's nice when people are like human like that.
So like, here's one. This is a story from way back. So I had Frank. Frank was like my first big, because the point of me doing Day in the Life of is to bring my audience into a new audience. So like it's mainly been like lesser known like 3D modelers, cosplayers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I shot my shot with Frank. I'd been watching him like religiously for like months leading up to me getting a printer. I shot him a DM and was like, "Hey man, I do a podcast. This is the concept of it. How would you feel about coming on and, discussing your life as, in the military to building your, just kind of give him like a quick little rundown." And about an hour later, I got a message from him. And like, when I tell you, like, I don't really fangirl. I think, and it was just that moment to where like, he messaged me back. He was like, "Yeah, dude, I would love to do that. That sounds fun." And I was just like, okay. And like, I would like message him like, because I don't, if I'm going to do a podcast with someone, I don't want it to be awkward. Because sometimes if you've never met the person and you're just chatting and you've not chatted, it's going to be weird.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I don't like doing. And then it's just like with Frank, it was, I hopped in his Discord. We were talking through one of his Discord chats, and then we did the podcast, and it didn't even feel like anything. And I was just like, okay, cool dude. And then, I met
Yeah.
him up in where he resides at because he's not that far from me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've gotten printers off of him. So it's like, I just look at it as like my friend Frank or my,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know a YouTuber type thing.
Yeah.
So Travis, yeah, Mike is such a good dude. I was doubting myself on cosplaying as MF Doom
Yep.
for NYCC because I thought it wasn't good enough. And he told me that I looked fine and that this is New York City. They love MF Doom.
Yeah, so Travis, when we went to New York, it was the four of us. It was supposed to be my partner, but she had to leave due to an emergency. So it was just me, Travis, and our friend Anubis. And he cosplayed Smoke, and he like commissioned me to. He sent me his Smoke Scout costume in the mail to battle damage and bloody it because he saw how I did it, and he commissioned me to make his like mask and stuff. And as I'm making this, Travis, he's talking to me, and he's like, "Yo, I don't wish I cosplay." He kept talking about being a wrestler. Well, he was talking about doing MF Doom, and then he was like, "No, I'm gonna be a wrestler." I'd be like, "Travis, that's not no," because he said it's not. It's nobody's gonna get it, and I'm like, "It's New York. They're going to get MF Doom.
Yeah.
Trust me on this." And he said, "All right, fine, I'll do it." And he got recognized more than me when I was in my V costume, which was before this suit, my most iconic costume. Like Reed Pop had me on their commercials and stuff for C2 in that costume, and they were bypassing me to get to him because he was in MF Doom. And every time I told him, I said, "I told you so. I told you so." Because it wasn't just him that was MF Doom; it was like 30 of them we saw across just one day.
Jeez.
So I was like, "Yeah, this is New York. New York loves MF Doom."
Yeah. My goal is to get out to New York one day. But what's going on, G? I see you, bro. Shout out Just GOG, aka Just G3D. Check him out if you're not already checking him out.
Another
War Machine,
whose videos I watched.
Yeah.
When I was making my build, which was the War Machine, especially the mounting system for his motor arms. It gave me an idea. But yeah, no, shout out to Judge D, man.
Yeah, and he's in the chat. But what's going on, bro? How you doing? Dude. All right, so let's go. Big shout out. So before he even posted any of the photos on his Instagram or before the video posted, he like I would hound him like, are you doing your painting yet? He's like, nah. So like the whole time leading up to him debuting War Machine at Dragon Con, I was just like, have you done this yet? He's like, no, but it's not going to take me long. And sure enough, it didn't. And I was just like, bro, he's like, I'm testing this out. And like, I got to see photos as he's painting this thing.
That paint job is gorgeous.
Bro,
and
like
the decals on it with the
cricket
Air Force logos.
Yeah.
Cricket. It's like, I need to get one, man.
Yeah,
really
dude.
Do.
But yeah, shout out you, bro. Like, you're out here, you do it, and appreciate you for tuning in.
I hope to see that suit in person one day. I hope to see that suit with mine in person one
day. Dude. Like literally, I sent him a convention that's going to be here in October. And I was like, I don't know if this is within your wheelhouse. I was like, but you should come here with your War Machine. I was like, just so I could see it. He's like, I'll think about it. He's like, it's not that far from where I'm at. So yeah.
Yeah, I genuinely hope to see. I genuinely hope to see that suit in person because, like I said, War Machine Mark I is my favorite. It's easily top 5 favorite Iron Man suits.
Yeah,
which is obviously, if it's not apparent by my suit in the background.
Yeah,
like it's one of my favorites. So yeah, it's.
I don't know if you saw his comment. He said, "Man, our suits together, bro. Let's make it happen."
Yeah, dude, we gotta make that happen. Hopefully, I want to travel more. Dragon Con is. I would love to go once, but it is like nigh impossible to get there. But
when I lived in Georgia, I didn't go to I've never been to Dragon Con, and I was there from 2017 until 2021.
Yeah, I'm hoping to travel more to the East Coast. West Coast is like East Coast is expensive. Like New York is expensive, but like if I even look in the West Coast,
bro,
my wallet is just gonna leave the room. So I'm gonna hopefully travel because I'm not flying with this thing.
Oh God, no!
Take my car. I don't trust
No.
it. Now, when I make my smaller suit, because I'm making a second one, then I might fly with that because it's just going to be the suit. It's not going to have arm cannons. It's not going to have like the.
Yeah, because that thing's bulky.
It's bulky, but I'm very proud at how mobile I am.
Yeah,
I can climb stairs pretty easily. For some reason, though, getting downstairs is the terrifying part. Getting downstairs
because you feel like you're going to topple forward.
Yeah, because I have on my boots, they're shoe covers.
Yeah.
I have to put my foot an extra inch forward before I step. Otherwise, it'll clip the stair behind it, and that will send me tumbling.
Yeah.
Which is why we use escalators.
Right. But no, freaking G. I don't know if you've seen any or had heard, but his Iron Man suit is 3 different suits basically together. It's the War Machine Mark 1. Oh my God. I'm gonna let you explain it because I'm blanking at the moment.
It's the combination. I think you followed me on Instagram. Like that was again imposter syndrome after New York. But it's the War Machine Mark 1. The Heartbreaker armor from Iron Man 3 because that is unironically my favorite Iron Man movie, just barely beating 2. And then the colors are from the briefcase suit in Iron Man 2 because I love how a good chrome looks.
Yeah. I know, brings back memories of stairs. I noticed that that's such a great idea.
Yes, yeah. I love how like the imposter syndrome thing is crazy because like after New York, I was just like, I'm just happy this thing worked because I've tried to wear it to 2 different cons, broke both times. Both times. It was so heartbreaking. And I was getting to the point where I was like, I don't think it's meant to be because it just keeps breaking. And in New York, I'm just like for the first 2 hours, I am scared in this thing because I'm like, I don't want it to break at the con floor, please. And then after like hour 2, I'm like, okay. By hour 4, I'm fully in it now. I'm like, this thing's not going in. I did it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like the pictures are coming in, and I'm getting like notifications from like Just G followed you on Instagram. I'm like, oh. Then I got Frankly Milled on Instagram. Oh. Yeah. Then I got Kira. Oh. It just keeps going.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. I got like Squire's cosplay. And it was just the best part about that suit, besides wearing it, is seeing people's reaction to it.
Yeah.
And obviously it's a cliche of like, oh, I like how people, but for me it's a little more personal because this is my art brought to life. This is the only one of these that exists. So
one of one.
Love the design it gives me a little bit of it makes me a little bit more happy.
Exactly. So I'm actually, oh gosh, we're an hour and 13 in. I'm gonna quickly wrap this up. So where do you see your content going in the future? Do you plan on sticking to, one basis of it, or are you gonna kind of keep it the same?
Honestly, the only way I look for the future is just everything I've been doing, but bigger and better. That the CGA are my 3 tenets. They're my 3 the pyramid of success, if you will.
Yeah.
Where it's like, these are the 3 things I love the most. This is what I'm going to make content about. Sometimes we do gaming content, but I also love cosplay, and everything I do has my art intrinsically caught up in it. Like my cosplay, everywhere I go now, it's my artwork. Like I'm always an artist first. So my content for the future, I'm just going to do what I've been doing, bigger, better, and hopefully people just come along for the ride.
Heck yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in to this hour and 15-minute stream. As always, Mac to Cool 93, and with my guest here, ridercga, aka Magic Mike.
I'm gonna beat his ass for that one.
For those if you're not following, where can they follow you at to kind of outro this?
All my social medias is very simple. It's ridercga on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. It just look it up. It's there, and it's just the same name, no difference. I capitalize it. It's the same name.
And in case if you guys missed the beginning half of this interview and you would like to see it, Give it about 24 hours, and it will be posted on YouTube, where you can check out everything. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. You guys have a good one, and enjoy the rest of your evening.